Okay, let's. I'm back in California. It is, it's a case now with the microphone and laptop, which is good. Not having to use the phone as much. If I do use the phones, when you see me using a phone and the audio is not that great, that's most likely YouTube Short. I'll be using YouTube Shorts for those particular purposes, especially if it's like for short-term stuff or whatever it may be. But in reality, I think I'll be using YouTube Shorts more for the effect of kind of to replace sort of Twitter as sort of a micro blogging service in a ways. I mean, nowadays it can work in this perspective. I think that's what these shorts and TikTok can be. What Twitter was at for the micro blogging aspect, I think these shorts or TikToks or whatever or reels, whatever you want to call them, are going to be the new norm of essentially being to the fact of replacing the vlogging, but more of the micro vlogs. I'm surprised that you're not seeing a lot of micro vlogs coming out as a result. If YouTube is smart and they do utilize shorts in an aspect of this, it can work out then for them, and they can get some new revenue, which will lead from micro vlogging to the actual vlogs, which is their YouTube channels. Um, I think right now the fact is YouTube itself is basically trying to encompass so many different things where you're going to create content creation for longer aspects of video. In this case, with the specific content as being that um, 15 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour or something like that, which is good when either doing product reviews or reviews of certain things. Yeah, mostly tech stuff more than anything else. We quite honest, like Marquis, um, and I forgot, and the unboxing and all those stuff. Basically, um, the thing is, for them, they're focusing on their content itself, and as far as trying to make sure that it's good. So you'll see a lot of editing, a lot of rehearsals, rehearsing basically and such. For me, you won't see that in this situation. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. For me, this is more of, I'm just using this as more of a vlogging type of thing more than anything else. Not a podcast, but more of a vlogging. I mean, that's the other factor as well too, where YouTube, I can see that as coming into the point of trying to replace the podcast, but not replace the podcast, but create a new aspect of the podcast where you have the video aspect, and then if it can transcribe into the actual uh, streaming aspects of the audio itself, then yeah. But I think more often than not, people would want to see the video more than the audio. Um, so that's those two perspectives of the content of like reviews and such. Also, even some like tutorials, which makes sense as well too. That's where it comes into play as well too. And then of course you've got the podcasting quote unquote podcasting type of thing. But now it's a case of you've got what YouTube was originally made for, which was just pure video content creation for something to entertain people as well too, like being YouTube stars. To the point where like you're creating like what TikTok is right now, and I think that's where YouTube Shorts are coming to play as well too. They're trying to get into that market as well and try to steal from TikTok because they're losing a lot of their market share of YouTube to TikTok because people want to see these content creations but in a short format more than anything else. I think TikTok, what we're going to see with TikTok actually is they're most likely going to um, expand from we've already seen expanding from the 15 second to the 60 seconds to now 3 minutes. And once they expand from 3 minutes to 10 minutes, you'll see them blow up a little bit more at that point. And so to the point where like they will want to compete with YouTube directly. And that's why I think YouTube is like, or Google in this case. Yeah, actually, let's just go YouTube because like that's the division of Google, anyways. But YouTube is actually scared about that to the point like TikTok can't um, steal a lot of the audiences from YouTube into TikTok, and at that point, if that happens, TikTok can grow. And the fact is I think Google's scared about that, and that's why they're trying to do these YouTube Shorts with the to the point where like they're trying to get the content creators to come back into YouTube with YouTube Shorts and offer them was it half, at least half of revenue that's generated off these YouTube Shorts. And when I talk about revenue, we're talking about ad revenue more than anything else. If that does happen, that would be good for YouTube and the content creators as well too. But in reality, I don't know how that exactly will work, because like you're not going to see ads in these YouTube Shorts unless there's like something like what YouTube is doing now, where like they have like little banner ads, I guess what you would call them, or such banner text essentially that shows up within the content itself. Honestly, for me, this is more of a case where I just want to use this as more of a vlogging slash micro vlogging aspect, just to, as with Twitter, I was basically more often than not. Initially, when I was using Twitter, was actually just to kind of be my bookmark type of thing, but share my bookmarks with other people. I like what Delicious was, but in this situation, it was more tech related bookmarks or links more than anything else. People found them interesting. I didn't get as many, followers because more of the case, I wasn't really generating a lot of my opinions on Twitter. I kind of avoided that. If anything, I was more of asking questions and posting like links more than anything else of my bookmarks. But I actually was able, it was good using Twitter as sort of a case of asking questions and getting responses. Nowadays, Twitter is more of a case where like you just want the breaking news more than anything else. And I think that's what Twitter comes into play. It's not your communication tool that I think was envisioned at the time, where you're sharing ideas and thoughts. People are still doing that, but more often than not, I'm using Twitter more than anything else just to like get some real breaking news at that point, versus having separate apps for that matter. If YouTube or YouTube Shorts has the aspect of creating a micro vlog, I think that's the next iteration. I think that might work out as well too, because I think we're starting to see a lot of the podcasters creating their YouTube channels with their actual podcast, the full-on podcast, but then taking bits and pieces and putting those on YouTube Shorts as kind of a preview to get them into the actual channel itself too, which can work from that aspect. For me, I don't know if I should be doing that or not, as far as taking excerpts of my quote-unquote vlogs and then just putting them to YouTube Shorts, and just hopefully people will use them to like see my vlogs themselves. I think I might have to create another account or using another Google account that I have for specifically for tech related vlogs or blogs. This I think is more of a case of just using this as sort of me just ranting about and such, as I mentioned in one of my earlier vlogs. As you see right now, this is a case where I'm not rehearsed. I don't rehearse any of this stuff. I just go off the cuff, speak my mind. Also, you might see me just looking off to other directions. It's more of a case because like I can't focus on the camera itself, which in this case is the laptop built-in camera. Could have a webcam and then have it focus wherever, but it's more of a case of like that's not me. I can't just focus on one little thing. I do have a case of slight ADD, or where I just can't focus on one thing. I mean, I could focus for a good minute, but in reality, it's hard to like just look at something like that without having to see my eyes. Because one of the aspects is as well too, or one of the things is aspects. I'll also have a tendency to like use words incorrectly in this. So if I do, you're welcome to comment on it as well too. But in reality, it's like I have a tendency to look out because there's a window right there and I could see outside. So I'll have a tendency to look out there as well too. But in any case, yeah, I think with this situation with YouTube and the YouTube Shorts, it will be great if you can get what you need out of it. It is the age of the content creation, and I think that's a result of what it was with the pandemic. People were just like stuck at home and they didn't know what to do. They wanted to see things. Some people were like, okay, you know what? I'll create content for them to look at, and I think that's where the popularity grew, and that's why TikTok grew so quickly, is because of that content creation. I think YouTube screwed up. I don't want to say screwed up, but I think they missed the ball as far as creating the aspects of like letting people basically create a smaller subset of videos themselves, similar to TikTok, where it could have been 60 seconds, 15 seconds, or a minute, whatever it may be. But something that was more of a micro vlog more than anything else, or a micro YouTube aspect. Um, but the other aspect, I think we saw it in the situation because the way Vine and the popularity back in 2012, the popularity of how it grew so quickly with Vine, and you saw all these Gen Zers jumping onto it back then when they were like 12, 13 at the time, and they were jumping on it, and I was recognizing it. And when Twitter bought them out, Twitter had the opportunity to use them, but they just dropped the ball on it. And so I think YouTube had that opportunity to do it. I tried doing it haphazardly in a way to see how it worked, but it didn't. People were still more focused on just working on YouTube and without the limitations of the time constraint. They just started just posting up content, and hopefully what would stuck people would jump on. Basically, for me, I think it was more of a case where like you saw as TikTok shows that people do have short attention spans and they want something quick. It's more of the instant gratification type of aspect, and it's more so that's why people were jumping in on TikTok because it was so short and sweet, and then you could go on to the next one. That and the fact that their algorithms were also really good too. Whereas in YouTube, they were based on their recommendations of some of the stuff you saw, but in reality, their recommendation engine wasn't as great compared to TikTok's for their discovery. I think YouTube is still focused on that. I think they need to rework it a little bit or retweak it, the algos a little, to focus on generating a much larger spectrum. Because right now, honestly, my YouTube Shorts, I'm just seeing like a set genre of something that I had searched on initially, and now it's just constantly showing that, and I'm like, it's good to have that, but I don't need to be flooded with that stuff. It's good to put in newer content, and that's what I think that YouTube Shorts misses on at this point. If they could get that in place, I think they might jump up a little bit more as a result. And the fact that YouTube, the way these YouTube content creators are getting money, of course, is through being influencers by getting sponsorship deals and all that stuff. I don't think TikTok pays them directly. If they do, that's great. I don't know exactly how that works out. Facebook and Snap, basically, I think they're trying to essentially get those users back onto their platforms, but by paying them, specifically large content creators. It was weird. Sorry, I'm going to be going on a little bit longer than my normal 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minute limitation. It's more of a case where this is kind of a little bit bigger thing right now. With the aspect of the TikToks out there, and Snap. Snap, I think, is still being used more predominantly for the messaging aspect. Quite honestly, I'm not sure why. I think because of the fact of all the Bitmoji perspective, but also the filters. I think that's what's also driving Snap with these Gen Zers. I mean, they are losing a lot to TikTok, but not as much, because I think the Gen Zers right now, as I saw this weekend, basically, I have these 17 and 16-year-old cousin-in-laws. Kind of asked them, do they use any of this stuff? And they said, yeah, TikTok's more than anything else, but they don't post as much. They mostly look at stuff. And then I asked, what do they usually mostly use then? It was they do use Snap, but that's more for messaging more than anything else. I'm like, okay, you only use that for group messaging? Yeah. I'm like, why not use WhatsApp or something? No, or the normal text message. I think it's more of a case because the fact is with the Snap, it gives you the ability to use these avatars, but also filters as well too at the same time. And I think that's one of the big things. I think if Signal and WhatsApp, or Telegram for that matter, were to do that, I think would change things. Specifically, I would like to see not Telegram, but Signal, even though it was built for security, quite honestly, they're not going to gain as much momentum as they would need if WhatsApp starts adding new features. And again, I think I mentioned in one of my prior videos, basically, or vlogs, that WhatsApp and Telegram are becoming more and more like social networks, more than anything else, or more social, more than anything else. That WhatsApp, I think if they introduce avatars or these emojis, not emojis, was it video emojis, or whatever. There's that thing where the iMessage iOS applies, where you are kind of emoticon or whatever it is. I forgot what it's exactly called, but from that perspective, if WhatsApp starts adding that, it's going to become more and more popular. And then once they have they have do have the ability to, essentially remove uh, or have, timed auto destruct messages like Signal does, and that's what say Snap gained its popularity as a result of that. I think more of a case if WhatsApp actually were to do that, but also apply filters, video filters for that matter too, or photo filters. I think they can lure away a lot of the Snap people back onto WhatsApp, and that's what I think Meta needs to do if that were to do that. Um, Now, if Instagram, like Meta were to work with Instagram and like apply the ability of like not only for just posting up images and videos, but also posting up like what you would call um, animated images, i.e., when I'm talking about animated images, I'm talking more of a case where like you're just basically creating images or taking images, but then applying AI to it so that you have these still images, and now like they're just basically constantly, they're moving in a ways where like they're talking or singing or whatever, maybe making it a little funny. I think adding that as another feature makes it to a point as part of a built-in aspect, a built-in package within the platform versus having to rely on a third-party source. I think that will get more people to jump in on board as well too. Uh, that's one of the things I'm exploring right now. If I can do that, it's more of a case where like creating that aspect of like images and then applying music. But the problem is getting the licensing for the music itself, basically. But as far as having these moving images to the point where it's similar to just still photographs, but more of a case where like from old aspects, old photographs and such, and applying it and kind of creating a social network on top of that as well too could potentially be another thing that people might want to use. I don't know how often they're used, but it's right now. It's the popularity is not there, but you never know. It might. Um, and that's what I was hoping for Signal, basically, to the point where like if they can apply that aspect of, because they just introduced the stories. I just saw it right now. I'm like, why would you want stories? No one cares about stories. I mean, honestly, if they're trying to become the new social network, like similar to WhatsApp, that makes no sense. No one really uses stories as much. I mean, I don't think they do. Honestly, when WhatsApp applied it or introduced it to compete with Snapchat, it made no sense. Actually, same thing with Skype at the time. When Microsoft at Skype, they introduced it. It was so unpopular that people didn't use it. And I think WhatsApp, even though they're there, people are using it. I think they're just there so that it's not, it's to just lure more people away from Snapchat. Honestly, if Signal's trying to do that, I think that's the wrong route to do. If they want to go the correct route, the route that they should do is they should apply what Snapchat is doing basically with filters. If they can get filters in place with video, I think that could lure a lot of people away from WhatsApp as well too, to be quite honest, as well as Telegram. Telegram, I think now they're going the premium route or freemium route. Um, Works to a certain aspect, honestly. But reality, I think they'll just lose out too, to be quite honest. I think WhatsApp has the potential to grow bigger than it should. Telegram, I think more of a case because of the fact that WhatsApp, because it's Meta and people are aware of their data privacy and all that stuff. But I think if Facebook became, or what Meta became more aware, I think it might change everything altogether. And I think what the fact is like the metaverse, I don't think they should um, stop investing in it. I think they should still go into it. But it's more of a case where like you'll have the metaverse, but I think they should incorporate some aspects of Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp into that as well too. If they do that, I think it might be a game changer in the communications platform for that matter. And then WhatsApp becomes a whole new social platform that will, I think, might most likely will compete with Facebook itself, to be quite honest. But it's within the meta world as well too. I think that's the same thing that Google has to do if they want people to get involved. That was the one nice thing about Duo. They had the AR aspect that was applied on there with these filters, and that was good in real time. I think WhatsApp. I don't know if they have that. Honestly, I don't have WhatsApp anymore. I deleted that account. I believe iMessages might have it. Well, FaceTime might have it. Yeah, FaceTime does have it. Um, if Google were smart, they would bring back Duo. I mean, not Duo, Allo, more than anything else. it worked really well. Honestly, they should just had three separate things. One specifically for SMS texting, Allo and Duo, and like leave Hangouts, i.e., Meet, the way it is. As for just for the workspace, more for the corporate environment and enterprise environment. Duo and Allo for the consumer aspect, messages just as a form of texting basically, because it's one of those things where people will still text. They were trying to steal away from both. I think Duo Facebook. The fact is they were trying to steal from both WhatsApp and from iMessages. It was a mistake on their part. I think they should have just left Allo as is and more of like steal from WhatsApp and let it be from WhatsApp, because like you still have a lot of people using WhatsApp, but then you still have the iMessages. Uh, let their Google Messages go from that and use it from that perspective and steal from iMessages. Still supporting the SMS or RCS route, but have Allo using pure data, because I'll be on front. I'll be honest. Google Messages does not work on Wi-Fi properly. To be quite honest, I mean specifically in airplanes when they offer you Wi-Fi, Messages does not work. Signal, WhatsApp work perfectly. iMessages, of course, they work. Google has to convince these airlines, hey, you got to support RCS. On reality, they're not going to, because they don't have to be quite honest. I mean, more often than not, they'll just want to support WhatsApp and iMessages, the two popular brands. If Google had done with Allo, gone with Allo and doubled down on Allo, I think they could have probably overtaken a little bit of WhatsApp, honestly, and had it used that with Duo incorporated, they probably could have worked out. But in reality, they didn't. But again, I think it comes down to the fact that WhatsApp integrating with these, I guess, filters similar to Signal, I think that might, gain a lot more people on there and steal some of the audiences or steal some of the users away from Snapchat. That's one of the big things I think Snapchat is still used for. I mean, no one's really cares about the stories. I mean, people are still using stories, but I don't think people are using their spotlight feature. No one cares about that unless I offer some serious cash. I don't think they're doing that, honestly. So I think the whole thing with Snapchat is I think they're still using the group messaging and from that as a messaging platform, which what originally was. WhatsApp and Signal, if they were to do the exact same thing, I think they could steal a large percentage of the user base from Snapchat onto theirs. TikTok, I think it's more of a case where like they're just trying to compete with the YouTubes out there as well as the Instagrams and steal them away more than anything else. If YouTube wants to steal stuff from TikTok, I think it's more of a case like first one, they got to work on their algorithm as far as like, the recommendations that are being given to you. I mean, there's the subscriber part and then there's the regular part. I think subscription should be separate from the actual discovery aspect, or two, you can combine them too, but more often, I think the discovery comes into play so that you can discover more and more new channels at that point and subscribe to them. Same thing to the effect of adding more filters. That's another big factor as well too. If they could add more filters and garner a larger music collection that than TikTok has, I think that might help out as well too. Because one of the things is TikTok has a large music collection, which I'm not sure how that works. I thought YouTube would have it as well too. The fact is because YouTube has those licenses in place either via YouTube itself with whatever it is, or through YouTube Music. So I thought by YouTube Music it would translate into YouTube, but apparently not. And the other thing that I think YouTube needs to work on, or YouTube Short needs to work on as well too, is not only the like I said, getting the filters in place, but also the ability to actually edit or add multiple videos and images together like TikTok does. With YouTube Shorts, you can't do that. So you're relying on a third-party application. In this case, I'm using CapCut, which works really, really well. If YouTube Shorts or the YouTube app actually applied that, had that ability to make those modifications, video edits and such, like TikTok does, I think you would gain a lot more people at that point too, as well too. I realize YouTube is thinking, it's like, you know what, why? Because like people are editing their videos, or they are editing and making updates on their videos themselves through a third-party app, and then making the changes, to gear the content more to the proper audience And so therefore, like, like let people just use the third party apps and then put it up on YouTube Shorts. But in reality, I think sometimes you just want to use YouTube Shorts, the app itself, and just like, do quick things basically very quickly versus having to use a third party app for that. And that was one of the drawbacks that drew me away from YouTube Shorts. I'm coming back on YouTube Shorts because the fact is I've got CapCut. But the problem is like with YouTube Shorts, also the other aspect is if you got already videos that's already got um that already has music already in place within the video, you've got the copyright issue, infringement issue then with YouTube. And that's like, I'm like, seriously, I'm getting from CapCut. So there's not a copyright infringement because I'm getting it from CapCut. So at that point, it should work. And the other aspect as well too is I was recording something at not at a concert, I forgot where. I just happened to be recording images, recording a video. There was some music playing in the background, and all of a sudden, like, I upload it, and then like it's not getting to a larger audience because why? Copyright claims. Makes no sense. I think I'll go off of that in another different video vlog about that, as far as why YouTube should revisit that thing as well too with their copyright issues. All right, I'm at 26 minutes right now, so thank you for listening to my rant. I know it's a myriad of subjects that came up as a result of this. You're welcome to subscribe if you want to subscribe. If you comment, go ahead and comment. I will try to respond to all the comments. I think I've responded to a bunch of the comments. The only thing is, if it might be late as a result of the fact is I don't get the notifications. If I get the notifications, then I'll comment. The other aspect as well too, if you can like or dislike, either or, it doesn't matter to me. Honestly, again, I'm just using this as a quick ranting platform for my video vlogs more than anything else. You might see a lot more YouTube Shorts as well too on this channel as well too. That would probably be me utilizing as like my Twitter feed basically more than anything else as well too. Again, unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed.